His mom suffered. And after being kicked out of one of the top medical universities in the country because he wouldn't keep his mouth shut, he told me he still had his old notebook, which contained all of the biblical ingredients that he conducted studies on and guidelines that would evaporate body fat in any man or woman over the age of 30 in just a few weeks. Breakfast backfires. He also told me after the first week, the powerful effects of these ingredients from the Bible, taken in a very precise order, will not only get rid of body fat, free radicals, and toxins from the body, but it also contains a powerful enzyme that will restore your youthful energy, awaken your healthy skin cells around your body, and also evaporate the unwanted fat storing points on your stomach and thigh areas. Now, I wanted to believe Michael, and one of my biggest challenges was men and women over the age of 30 who knew they needed to lose weight not solely just to feel confident in themselves, but because their lives were at stake. Michael shared the exact blueprints which contained the ingredients found in the Bible, which would allow anyone's cells in their body to fully restore and jumpstart their fat-burning cycles lying deep within their bodies. It made people feel like they were in their early 20s again. The obese gene advantage. Michael ultimately spilled the beans on these exact biblical ingredients that are used by some of the healthiest Christian countries around the world, such as Italy, Greece, France, India, and the Philippines. These studies show that for the past 20 years, these countries have the lowest obesity, diabetes, stroke, cancer, gallbladder disease in the entire world. These people also live much longer and look much younger than anyone from the rest of the world. I started to believe that a medical breakthrough that would change the health industry, reverse obesity, and slow down the aging process was about to be exposed. This was such an eye-awakening experience that the entire night I didn't get an ounce of sleep. I spent the whole night reading and digesting every piece of information Michael shared with me that Sunday afternoon. The very next day, I spoke to my wife privately and gave her the same formula that Michael gave me. I told her we would both give it a try. The very next day, the excitement on her face was priceless. She told me she felt refreshed, restored, and it felt like she had a jolt of energy throughout her body. It was nothing short of miraculous. 93% of all the people I've passed this information on to have lost more than 3 pounds of fat within the first week without any change in physical activity. Not only that, but their productivity levels went up to 98%. They were able to perform their job duty at a much higher level. They were also more alert and tired just halfway through the day. It started becoming more and more likely that Michael was on something as they were all sleeping soundly through the night and experienced a dramatic boost of energy in the day. They no longer needed a high dose of caffeine to get them through the day. Their energy levels were through the roof. They felt more strength in their muscles and looked and felt healthier than they have felt in the past 10 years. Here are just a few of the obese gene advantage secrets you'll discover, not to mention they were getting bread, pizza, pasta, ice cream, pies, and whatever they want, anytime they want. Michael's formula contained great tasting snacks and sweet desserts, which were all on his list of foods to eat. People started to get wind of these Bible ingredients, and it was becoming viral. I was spreading this formula around like wildfire and helping too many people I could handle at one time. Nothing seemed to make sense. I wouldn't have believed it unless I saw it with my own eyes. Men and women in their 30s, 40s, 50s, and 60s with a long history of chronic health problems were watching all the signs and symptoms just disappear into the night sky. Things started to get crazy for me because everyone was coming up to me each day, all anxious to learn Michael's biblical breakthrough that was written in his handwritten notebook that would change everyone's life for the best. I became known in my church as the fitness pastor. After typing up a quick version of Michael's formula, I then proceeded to give it to over 500 men and women that day. It's made me think of the day my wife and I heard the worst possible news, when the doctor diagnosed my 39-year-old wife as an overweight type 2 diabetic and recent stroke survivor who wouldn't be able to watch her kids grow if she didn't do something about her weight. A way you can transform your metabolism. She was almost 40, had high blood pressure, had already survived 1 stroke, type 2 diabetes, and if she didn't lose 40 pounds that year, it could mean death for her. If it weren't for Michael's life-changing ingredients he found within the Bible, she wouldn't still be here. My wife was upset she waited so long that it took a stroke for her to realize she was so unhealthy to the point where it was almost too late. This is why I'm sharing hundreds of success stories with you, which have been pouring in about all the men and women whose lives were being saved by this formula. These men and women's lives were being transformed in a matter of weeks. I asked you to try this exact method for the next 30 days, and you too will be astounded at the results. When I first told my wife, she honestly didn't see how a 150-page notebook from a kid who was expelled from medical school was going to help her. But at this point, she was desperate, and she owed it to her family to give it a try. That day when I gave her Michael's plan and told her how to follow it precisely step by step every day for the next 6 weeks, she had been losing pounds by the day. This might shock you, but still, to this day, anyone who has tried these biblical ingredients has my cell phone blowing up every day from their excitement with their results. And that same doctor who told my wife that she needs to get her affairs in order and prepare for the worst was flabbergasted when he saw the sudden change in her body. Changes such as radiant skin, drastic change in her belly, and even a smaller face. The incredible 77-pound weight loss question. She no longer had to take any expensive high blood pressure medication or cholesterol pills, and on the final week of using Michael's plan, she discovered she had lost a whopping 46 pounds. To see any person's life can change right before my very own eyes gave me so much confidence that this formula worked. I was soon teaching this method to crowds and crowds of people each and every day who needed this breakthrough to save their life. The crowd kept growing and growing and growing. Thousands of men and women each night were all dropping pounds quicker than anyone had ever seen before, rejuvenating their health and having their energy levels back to where they were in their mid-20s. With the help of social media, there were thousands of people across the country using Michael's formula and sharing the results. My inbox kept flooding with success stories. They all experienced a dramatic decrease in overall body fat, an incredible boost in their energy. Almost all their chronic health problems disappeared. Problems such as high blood pressure, heart disease, fatigue, sleep apnea, common point, and diabetes were gone.